yoga. Do we have any special requests for today's practice? All right, then we'll go ahead and get started. Let's take a seated position on the mat. And if you have a block, this is a great time to use your block. Put your hips up on it. And we'll start by just grounding the sits bones, rooting them through the earth, straightening the spine so it's long and tall. And we'll start to become aware of the breath. Just noticing the inhale and the exhale. And while we're here, let's create a little intention for today's practice. Just a little goal. Whether it's stretching or strength related, or maybe just using this time to focus on yoga and nothing else. And with that in mind, on our next breath, let's inhale arms up to the sky and exhale them to your sides. One more time, let's inhale the arms up. We'll interlace the fingers pointing up to the sky and exhale to the right side. Inhale center and exhale left. Inhale center. Exhale looking up at the sky, a little back bend. And then back to center. And on our next exhale, let's reach those hands out in front of us. Maybe walk them forward on the mat. Maybe resting your forehead all the way down on the ground or just reaching towards that. Let's walk the hands over to the right side. And back to center. And over to the left side. And back to center. On the next breath, let's slowly start to walk our hands up to our tall seated position. And just spend a moment here, coming back to the breath. Placing the left hand on the mat, let's inhale the right arm up to the sky. And we'll bring that right hand by the left ear. And then just gently start to bring it down towards the right ear. And then we'll move that right hand back just behind the ear. So walk that left hand back just barely behind us and look down into that armpit. And on the next exhale, we'll release that right hand back to the mat. Inhale the left hand up, bringing it just above the right ear, and gently start to pull that to the left side. Keeping the rest of the spine the same, just moving the neck. So walk that right hand just barely behind us. Left hand comes just behind the ear. And gently we'll start to look down into that left armpit. And on the next exhale, we'll release that left hand back to the mat. And if you're on a block, let's take that out. We'll swing the legs around into a tabletop position. So hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Let's start with a cat-cow sequence. So just inhaling, dropping the stomach, lifting the tailbone and the chin. Exhaling, arching the back, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. And just taking this to your own breath. Your own inhale and exhale. Just being very gentle with their spine. On the next breath, let's bring that to stillness. We'll start to take the hips in little circles. Just gently gaining some mobility there. Let's switch directions. bring that back to center, back to stillness. Let's stretch out the right foot behind us, reaching through that heel. Big calf stretch here. And we'll release that back to the mat. Send that left foot out. And release back to the mat. On our next breath, let's tuck your toes. Lift the hips into a downward dog. You're welcome to walk out the dog. Dropping your heels towards the mat. Waking up the back of the legs here. On the next breath, let's step forward into a forward fold. So both those feet come up to our hands. We're reaching down. If you want, you can use your block here to prop up your hands. We're just going to hang here for a second. Stretching out the hamstrings. Let's walk those hands over to the right side. Back to center. And to the left side. And back to center. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale all the way up to mountain. Hands come to our sides. From here, we're going to step our feet just off the mat. We'll inhale the arms up to the sky. And exhale for a wide-legged forward fold. Just reaching those hands down. Hopefully we're feeling the stretch a little more in the insides as well as the back of the legs. While we're here, I'll give you guys a minute to play around with this pose. You're welcome to shift your weight from one hip to the other. Maybe walk your hands from side to side. Maybe bending one knee and then the other. There's lots of options, so just do whatever feels good. And on your next breath, let's start to bring that to stillness. We'll inhale up to a wide-legged half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Then we'll bend the knees, place the hands on the mat, and step back into a plank. Drop the knees. Bring the toes together and gently drop the hips into a child's pose. On your next breath, start to walk those hands up, lifting the hips into a tabletop. Let's step that right foot forward. Into a lunge. Starting to lean into that. On the next breath, let's start to straighten that right leg, moving our weight to the back for a reverse lunge. Once again, walking the hands forward through our lunge. We'll bring that right foot over to the left side. And gently drop the knee into a half pigeon. If you have a block, you are always welcome to place your block underneath that right hip so you can get a little bit higher. Or you're welcome to stay here or drop onto your elbows, whatever's comfortable. On your next breath, wherever you're at, let's bring both those hands in front of us. We'll tuck the back toes and step back to a plank. Then we'll step the left foot forward, drop that right knee into a lunge. Just warming up this muscle for a minute. Then we'll start to walk the hands back, straightening the front leg into a reverse lunge. And next we'll walk our hands forward back into our lunge for just a second. Then we'll bring that left leg over to the right side, dropping the knee into a half pigeon. either staying tall here or dropping onto the elbows, or maybe using that block. On your next breath, let's bring those hands in front of us again. We'll drop onto that left hip, swing the right leg around into a seated position. If you want to, you can go ahead and sit on your block again. And let's start by bringing those feet into a tented position. And we'll slowly drop the knees to one side and then the other. We'll just do this a few times at your own pace. Just a little light stretch here. And one last time to even it out. And we'll bring those feet back to center. Bring our feet together in front of us. And hold on to those ankles, keeping the spine tall. And on your next exhale, you can start to fold over the legs if you'd like. Maybe while you're here, just remind yourself of your intention for today's practice. And on the next breath, let's walk those hands back up to center. We'll send the feet out in front of us straight. Inhale the arms up to the sky. And exhale for seated forward fold, reaching towards your toes. Inhale up, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then we'll slowly walk the hands back up to center. Send those legs out wide in front of us. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale, right out in front of you. Let's walk the hands over to the right side. Back to center. And to the left side. back to center. On the next breath, let's walk those hands back up to our tall torso. We'll inhale the right arm up to the sky. The left arm reaches towards the left foot. Big side stretch here. Back up through center. Right hand comes to right foot. Left arm comes overhead. And back up to center. Let's cross our legs here in an easy seated position. If you normally cross your legs one way, maybe try switching that so the opposite leg is in front. And let's just get comfortable here with our hips rooted, grounded either on the mat or on our block. Our hands in a comfortable position. Our spine long and tall. Becoming aware of the breath. And while we're here, just take this moment of silence to center yourself. It's a great time at the beginning of the day to just really become grounded before everything else starts happening. Not trying to change anything in any way yet. Just becoming aware and at peace. On the next breath, let's come back to our bodies. Maybe wiggling the fingers just a bit. Let's inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale them to heart center. Thank you guys for doing yoga with me today. I hope you have a great Friday. Namaste.